You're listening to the Uplevel Your Online Business Show, where wealth is empowering, purpose is crucial, and high vibes are non-negotiable. And now, here's your host, certified business coach and practical woo strategist, Sara J. Loureiro.
Welcome to your episode all on how to create magnetizing content. I'm so excited about this episode because there are so many of you who ask me almost on a daily basis, how do I create content? I feel like when I create content, no one really cares about what I'm writing. And here's the thing. It's not enough for us to have a work with me page on our website or all of our beautiful testimonials from all of our amazing clients that we've worked with before. Having content in the form of blog posts, videos, social media posts, PDFs, ebooks, you name it. Having content within your business is going to speed up the know, like, and trust factor. People need to know who you are. They need to want to like you. And they also need to really trust that you are the person that is going to help them get the results that they want. And so here's the thing, it's not enough to just kind of post to social media about the topic that you're an expert on. In fact, I see a lot of people doing this. And guess what? They can Google that information. Everyone has access to it. But what we need to understand as service-based providers is that people don't just want regurgitated information. People want very personalized information. And so the very first thing that you're gonna wanna do with your content is really 100% figure out who your ideal client is. Who are you speaking to? Are you speaking to a millennial woman who's fresh out of university or fresh out of college and is struggling with her weight loss? Are you speaking to a senior, someone who just had their kids leave the house, they're now all alone, and they're dealing with menopause, and that's why they have a whole bunch of weight gain? Are you dealing with busy mamas? You need to understand who your target audience is so that you can create content that's going to directly speak to them. A millennial, for example, is going to love the current and hip slogans and just all of the wording and verbiage that is used on a daily basis in social media, whereas someone who's a lot older than them probably is going to be like, what's going on? Why is this person talking to me like this? They're just not going to resonate. You need first and foremost to understand the language that your ideal client and your ideal audience uses. It's not enough to just say, well, I want to help a whole bunch of different audiences. Guess what? There's always going to be one specific audience that continuously buys from you and one specific audience that loves your content because you're speaking directly to them. So first and foremost, really define who your audience is. And when I say really define, I mean like really define them. Is she a city girl who loves shopping? Is she a farm girl or a country girl? Are you talking to men? Are you talking to first-time fathers? Really get specific with who you're talking to, what age group they're in, and where they live. That's gonna really help you to zone in on what type of language you're gonna be using, because everyone has information on losing weight, but not everyone has information on losing weight for that busy mama who's struggling with her firstborn. And no one is going to be able to produce the exact same content as you will. That is the beauty of your industry. That is the beauty of personal branding. So if you ever feel like there's way too many people talking about the exact same thing, guess what? There is no one talking about that one thing in the way that you're talking about it. But if you're regurgitating information from a textbook, or by providing your content, you're trying to talk to everyone so that you please everyone and don't tick anyone off, guess what? You're not going to be creating magnetizing content. So don't be afraid to say things that only people in your age group say. Don't be afraid to swear if that's something that you do on a daily basis. Magnetizing content comes first and foremost when it really comes from your heart, as if you were talking to your best friend. You might want to look like the biggest professional there is. You know everything there is to know about weight loss or about sleep. But guess what? They don't care. Your people do not care about one thing that's regurgitated from a textbook. What they care about is the unique spin that you put on it. I see way too many women out there just creating super dry, boring content, and of course it's not getting picked up. Don't be afraid to add a little bit of fun to your content. Don't be afraid to tell a few stories with your content. That is what's going to bring people in and really start magnetizing your ideal clients to you. Okay, so the second thing that I really recommend here is rooting down into your why. So why is it that you started your business in the first place? Why is it that you want to sell what it is that you're selling? And once you have that, start to create your content from there. Start to create the purpose for your content from there. Write down your mission, write down your values every single time that you're writing a piece of content. You are here to make a difference in the world. And so make sure that anything that you're writing to your ideal audience is really capturing that. Industry averages for online businesses state that around 95% of your audience will never buy from you. It might seem like a lot, but if you think about it this way, you're giving 95 people out of 100 information for free on a daily basis. And those 95 people, even though they don't want to buy from you, they're still engaging with your content. Why? Right? They don't want to buy it, then why? Because your content is changing their life. Okay? It's not just about the selling, it's also about adding that immense value to so many people's lives. But see, here's the other tricky thing about content. If 95% of your audience doesn't buy from you, what you want to make sure that you're doing to run a successful business is always be directing your content at that 5% that will. And so here's how you're going to do that. Go ahead and write down all of the desires and all of the results that your ideal audience would love to have from working with you. Start to really get in tune with what it is that they want and what the unique problems are that you solve for them. And how are they different from the other 95%? Remember that you're never selling your actual program. You're never selling your course. You're selling the desires and the results that come from someone completing your course or your program. So the way I love explaining this is thinking about your next trip to the Bahamas. And you really want to get some sort of an all-inclusive trip there. Your travel agents are not going to be selling you on all of the different specifications of your airplane. Your airplane is fully equipped with life jackets and it has amazing food. No, you don't care about that. Right? You care about the vacation. And I would even argue that you don't even care as much about your hotel. You mostly care about how you're gonna feel when you're in that hotel. You care about the beach, you care about the nightlife, you care about all of the experiences that you're gonna be having on that vacation. It doesn't matter as much what your minibar is stocked with or how many rooms your hotel has. Because as long as you're getting an amazing experience and are able to really bask in the sunshine and take a dip in the ocean, you don't care about that airplane. You don't care about how many rooms your hotel has, am I right? And that's exactly what travel agents do. They're not selling you on your aircraft. They're not selling you on all of the specifications of your hotel. They're selling you on the specific luxuries and the experiences that are possible when you book with them. And so that's what you need to do when you're creating amazing content for your audience. Sell them on those desires, on that transformation, on those results. Even if you're not doing promotional posts, there are a lot of very specific ways that you can throw in those desires and those transformations in posts where people don't even feel like you're selling to them. And that is the amazing part of online marketing, is that you don't even need to be selling to someone to make a difference in their lives and to really have them see the possibility of them being able to transform their problems into their desired outcomes. So if you feel like you have no idea how to do this, I want you to go ahead and just close your eyes now and just really start to think about What is the perfect fit outcome for your ideal clients? If you've had a client before, that's amazing. Think about what exactly they wanted from working with you. If you haven't had a client before, that's totally fine too. Just close your eyes and really think about the amazing outcomes. If everything went perfectly, if they did all of the work that you asked them to do, where would they be? How different would their lives be? How much would your work be impacting multiple areas of their lives? And once you have that, that's what you're really going to want to work with when you're writing your content. You can take that a step further if you feel like you're still really confused about what your ideal client wants, and you can conduct at least 5 market research calls where you can get a better idea of those direct results and outcomes that people get from your work. Or you can survey your audience. Ask them, what is it exactly that they love hearing from you? What are the problems that they have? What are the struggles that they have? And where would they love to see themselves 3 to 6 months from now? Now, once you have all of that, I want you to recognize that there are 4 different types of content that are amazing for you to put out there. Okay, so the first type of content that you can put out there into the world that is going to make a huge impact on your audience and really help them with the know, like, and trust factor is educational content. This is the type of content that most people get right. It's the stuff where you're regurgitating everything that you learned about the field that you're in. It's the facts and the how-tos. And it's always really good to have some of this sprinkled in with all of the other content that you have, but make sure that your content isn't too education heavy, or else it's gonna feel a little bit boring. The second type of content that you want in your business and in all of your social media marketing and your videos and all of that kind of stuff is inspirational content. So empowerment, really getting people to see the possibilities on the other side of them putting in the work, of them taking that leap. How can you be motivational? How can you motivate them, inspire them, and empower them to take the next step? That type of content is incredible because with that content, you're really getting at that 5% that want to take the leap and that are ready to take that leap. You don't have to be teaching in each and every content post that you write, but you do have to regain their attention. And the third type of content, and this one is really, really powerful, is personal story. How do you have your own personal story of going through the exact same thing that they're going through right now? Or how do you have a story of a client who's been there? How can you attach that story to emotion? How can you guide people from when you were able to go from point A to point B and everything that you learned along the way? And if you can really tap in to this one area of content, you are essentially selling your work for yourself. It is so easy to sell transformations, to sell experiences from the perspective of personal story and social proof. And it's basically because people don't want to just have someone help them based on a textbook case of knowledge. They want to make sure that something that you have learned can be applied in the real world. They want to know if you can understand them. They need you to be relatable. And a really nice and fun way that you can bring in personal story with your content is by doing a lot of stuff that's behind the scenes. So letting people know who the human is behind your brand. What else do you do other than weight loss coaching? If you are a weight loss coach for busy mamas, for example, do you have kids of your own? Can we see some photos of your kids? Can we see some videos? Can we see some footage of a day in the life? What about what coffee shops you go to? How can you show your audience all of the things and all of the ways that they could very well be very similar to you with? And when you're giving them more of that opportunity to really get to know you and not just know you as a professional, but also know you as a human being, guess what? That know, like, and trust factor exponentially increases. And when your know, like, trust factor exponentially increases, so do your sales. Don't be afraid to show people what your messy house looks like, because maybe you're going to start to attract other people who are going through the same thing, who have messy houses. You don't need to look perfect all the time, and in fact, people love it when you show them the imperfect parts of yourself because it makes you human. It makes you relatable. And remember, people aren't just buying your services and your products, they're also buying you. They're buying your message, and they're buying who you are as a human being and how that relates to how much you can help them. All right, and the last piece of content, so the fourth type of content that you absolutely need in your business is promotional content. And this tends to be the area where I see a lot of women undercutting themselves, like severely undercutting themselves. Aim to have your promotional content to be a minimum of 25% of all of the content that you create for your audience. Why? Because the more you sell, the more you sell. It's simple. People need to be hearing that you have a program or that you have a service that would benefit them multiple times before they actually make the decision to work with you. So how can you step outside of your comfort zone and start to promote more and more each and every week so that you're getting your message out there consistently? You're providing value, yes, but you also want to make sure that you're giving the opportunity for that 5% to take the next step when they're ready. And the great news is that your promotional content doesn't always need to be you selling your services and selling your $500 packages. Your promotional content can also be, oh, hey, here's the link to get on my email list. Here's the link to get into my Facebook group. Here's the link to my recent podcast. Whatever gives them a call to action and really helps them to take that next step to get to know you a little bit better and get to your most inner circles is going to be amazing promotional content. So remember, at least 25%, you guys, 25% minimum needs to be you putting promotional content out there, because without the promotional content, you don't have a business, you have a charity. And none of us came into this just to have a charity. We all wanted to create a sustainable business. So the more you can sell and the more that you can sell those transformations and provide value while you're selling, the better off you're going to be in terms of sustainability for your business. Your people are going to be absolutely transformed with the types of programs and services that you provide. So why not promote them? What's the problem with that? Even for this week, I dare you to promote your services a little bit more than what feels comfortable for you in your content, and you're gonna see how many more responses you get. So there you have it. That's how you can create magnetizing content in your business. I promise you that if you use those 4 different types of content, you're gonna start seeing a lot more engagement on your posts. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for listening to the Uplevel Your Online Business Show. If you enjoy our show and would like the show notes and free goodies about how to grow your online coaching business, head over to sarajlorero.com for more information. We hope you'll tune in next time.